Hi, welcome back to the PAFA wire wrapping channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's just a fun thing. There's not much skill involved and it's just for the holidays. So if you like having something festive to wear for the holidays, this is a fun little thing to do. What we're going to need to make these, and they have little bells that ring. What we're going to need to make these, I don't know where I got these, but you can probably find them online at a craft store or something. These are hollow leaf pendant. Well, they're considered pendants, but you can use them for earrings. And I think I got them at Jewelry Findings 168 on Etsy. And you can get a bunch of them for really cheap. And also, these are 6.0 check seed beads, but you may want to go with something smaller like 8.0, but that presents a whole other set of problems because if they're small, then you need to fill the leaves with them. You might need more beads. It's a little bit, it sticks out a little bit above there, but it doesn't matter. It's just a cute little fun thing to do. And I'll show you how to do it real quick. You want to have these, you want to have 2 jump rings, 2 ear wires, your little bells, and the tools, tweezer nose pliers, probably just in case, some wire straighteners, flush cutters, and if you screw something up and you want to undo, tweezers are good to pull your wires out. I'm using a 28 gauge sterling silver wire because that's what I have, but you can use a cheaper type of silver wire if you want. And silver's best because it'll hide it a little bit better, but you're still going to see the wire. There's not much getting around that, but just cut whatever length you think you'll need for one earring. And if you run short or long, better to run long than short. So I basically like to alternate and make each earring, opposite the other. If you can see that there's 2 green on the left and 2 red on the right, and it's opposite bell colors at the end and opposites on this end. So everything's just sort of opposite. And you're going to need 7 if you're using the 6.0. You're going to need 7 green and 7 red seed beads. So what I would like to do is just, find a place to wrap one end of the wire around. And you probably want to pull it out just a little bit because mine is too short. And whoops, I probably pulled it out too much there, but just to wrap it a few times. You're going to be wrapping each one a few times on each side and try to make sure they're secure, that they're, if it's possible, have them sticking inward as much as possible, but they are going to sit above the leaf a bit, no matter what you do, unless you get really small seed beads. And, pick whatever you want to use. I'm just using this because this works best for me. And it's all I have. I don't have any smaller green and red seed beads, so that's what I'm doing. But it's just a fun thing, and I hope you don't mind that I'm deviating from doing any actual more serious wire wrapping today. But I thought I would do this now. I know it's not even Thanksgiving, but I thought I would do this now so that if you want to make these, whether they're to sell or to give as gifts, you definitely don't want them as Christmas gifts because then it'll be too late to wear them. But give them to somebody for fun before Christmas, and they'll probably really appreciate that. And so there we go. That's the first one. And then I grab another one. And you don't have to do just one wire, but I think it's easier. You can also separate your wire and do each one individually with a wire. But I like to try to keep one wire as much as possible. It also eliminates the possibility that your there's always the possibility that your wire will come undone, and it's better if it comes undone in one area than in like 14. So that's another reason to keep just one wire on here. And this one, because I did it this way, I'm going to try and do it under here too, just to secure it a little more strongly. And then because I'm using a really fine wire, the 28 gauge, it does twist up from time to time, and you want to make sure you untwist it. 28 gauge is very fine, and you know, you want it to be fine so it's not so obvious. I think I used 26 on these. You can tell, you can see it a little bit more, I think. I don't know. But anyway, just be careful. It will break if you bend it too much. Let's see. So if I did this with the 2 green on the other one, I did 1 green on the side here, and then a red. So you want to try to keep your pattern kind of consistent if you want it to be a mirror opposite on each one. Okay, so I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'm actually going to go under with this one, I think. Actually, maybe not. No, I'll go over. Okay. So, and you can do this usually with your hands. You don't even need the tool. Okay, where did that wire come from? Oh, that's the that's the tail I never cut off. So yeah, just to stop from confusing yourself, cut that tail off when you can and tuck it in. It's a little bit hard to tuck stuff in on this charm, so do the best you can. And that's another reason to use, you know, just one single wire, because again, you don't want anything coming out and poking people or getting loose. And this one is maybe a little short, so I think I'm going to just cut it right flush with that, and that should keep it in there a little bit. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to do this around another time. Come up through nice and tight, and then I'm going to add a red one if I can pick it up. So these little triangle trays are great for keeping your beads from going all over the place while you're working. So let's see, I'm going to do this twice here. Actually, what I'll probably do on the second run, because that way you don't have a whole lot of wire in the back, is I'll run it through the red bead. Go that way, because it's going to be going, you want your wire to be facing whatever direction it needs to be going, so you don't have wire just like all over the place. I hope you can see this. Is that clear? Okay. So I'd love to know what you all are doing for the holidays, so feel free to message me, and I hope everybody's going to be doing something fun. Let's see. I probably am going to be relaxing after doing all my markets and hopefully get to see family and just relax. And then in January, hopefully I'll get a little bit more artistic because I'll have more time to myself. Now I'm going to just pull this through here if I can. I may have to thread it through because there's not really a hole there. I'm going to be going over to the next and try not to do this. And let's see. Again, you do have to be careful with this thin gauge wire. It tends to twist. Okay. All right. So, oops, that's upside down, I think. No, it's not. Okay, so that's what we have so far. I hope you can see that okay. One of these days, maybe for Christmas, I'll get a new camera. Okay, so let's see, what's next? What's next is going to be one red bead. And I think I'm just going to go, because it's very thin and you can't see it too well, I'm going to go underneath like that. So you're not really going to notice that that wire is wrapped there, unless you're really looking. And with my older eyes, I would not notice. That's one good thing. You don't notice all your imperfections in your work when your eyes get older. And the problem is that other people might. Okay, So I'm going to try and turn this a little bit. This can be tricky, especially with the bigger beads, you know. You want them, you don't want the hole sticking up where people can see that. So when I go over here, I'm actually going to try and stick this thread back through. And then I'd straighten it out so it doesn't kink. And there you go. You can't see the hole. Okay, come up around here. I think I'll go down there. You want to think ahead as you go because you want your wire to end up, like I was saying, you want your wire to end up close to where you need it to be. And the next step here is going to be another red one here. We're going with the red theme on this earring for now. And then we will end up with a green at the bottom and a red bell beyond that. Okay. So this one, we can't really go under because it needs an anchor, so it'll be a little bit more tricky to keep the, trying to see what I can do here. Actually, let me try and go under because I don't want it sticking way up. So there's no, you know, no set no set rules on how to do this exactly. When I come back up, because it's completely under and it's going to fall, when I come back up, I'm going to thread it through. And it's really trial and error when you're doing this just to make sure that it looks the best it can for you. And by threading it through, I made it so that it will stay put up there. And I'm going to give it one more time around here. I might go up under here because I'm thinking about going to the bottom there. So, and again, you have to come back, make sure you're not getting kinked on the way. Okay. And I hope when I actually look at this that it'll be better. Okay, so I'm going to come up through. I'm going to put this in. Yeah, you want to hide your wires as much as you can, but that's not entirely feasible in these situations to be able to hide your wire entirely. So of course I have to get it up there and I cannot see that well. Okay, so here we go. Once around, and because this is kind of loose, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to run it through because you don't want your little beads just bobbing about. You want them to be secure. So make sure that you wrap them in such a way that they will stay put. So I think that is it for that, except for the bell. Just going to tie this up a bit to make it more secure. If I can get it through. Almost had it. There we go. All right. And I think I might go through one more time because it's still a little bit bobbly. And you want to straighten the end if you need to because it's hard to get it through if the end isn't straight. Okay. And just make sure that's not going to be too visible. Now it's nice and tight. Wrap it up and around one more time. And nice and tight. And I think that is done. This one is sticking up a little bit there. I don't like that, but I pushed it down. Okay. So in hindsight, I might have secured this one a little bit better, but let's see. I'm going to go through here. One more time, and then I'm going to call that done and just try and tuck that under if I can. So if you can see that. Tuck it down in there. Nice and tight. Okay. So that's that. And then we just need to put on the jump ring for the bell. Okay. And okay, I'm back. I don't know if you can see the difference here. See how that one is clearly quite a bit thicker than the other one. So it is important when you're getting jump rings to try to figure out what thickness you want to buy, because some of them are super thick and that can be a problem with some of the stuff you're making. This one might not be open quite wide enough. So I'm going to open it just a bit more. And when you open your jump rings, you should never pull them apart this way. You should move them side to side, and because you don't want to damage them. There we go. Ha! It worked. Yay! All right. So we're going to need a red bell. And there's these bells. You want to get these bells that have the little hook inside, a little hook area. You can see it. So you can hook the jump ring onto it. Okay, and your jump ring should be big enough to be able to do this. And then you put your jump rings back together like this. This is the hardest part because I'm not wearing my good glasses. And sometimes I like to turn my, this is just another pair of pliers, but it's a bent nose, and I like to turn it this way if I'm using it for something like this because the bent part can get in the way. Okay. So just make sure that when you get them together that they are close together, which I just made them loose again. And just kind of work them together like that. There we go. Okay. And you put your little earring wire on. Uh-oh, my belt just came off. I clearly did not tighten it enough. So you do have to be careful. Make sure that everything when you put it together is tight enough that you're not going to have a gap. So see, there's just a tiny little gap there, but this thing is so thin that it went right through that tiny gap. Pretty amazing, but that is important that you close those gaps up completely. I think that should do it. And sometimes just press it down a little bit to make sure it's nice and even. So now, there it is, all done. And it's not coming off. Okay, so that's one. And I'll do the other one. I may speed through it so you don't have to watch the whole thing. But I'm going to grab some more wire. I don't know. I just kind of estimated, and I'm going to go with like that much. And I think that's about 8 inches maybe. And just going to start again on the other side. But make sure, because they flip both ways, and you don't want them flipped this way if you're getting these particular leaves. So you want it, if you want it opposite, you want to make sure that they look like that, the bigger ones on the outside on both. Okay, so that'll be your front. So for this one, we'll do the green one first on the inside, then we'll move along to the red ones. I'm going to go ahead and just attach this wire before I even grab my little bead. I'm giving you permission just to have fun with it, okay? Because sometimes, especially in the world we live in, we really just need to have a little bit of fun and relaxation. And this is kind of a fun little project. This is not anything where we have to go, oh no, what have I done? You know, which if you lived with me, you'd hear that frequently. But today I'm just going to be chilling on this. Okay, so I've got 2 of those there. I'm going to grab a red. I maybe would have been better off to go under here so that, because I am noticing this wire. But this is just to show you. So let's see. I think I will go wrap it around like this, and then I'm going to come up. We're going to do yet another green, and we're going to be done pretty quickly. Hopefully this will be at least a shorter video than most of my videos. And hopefully it's a little bit more in focus and clearer, as I tried to listen to you guys who were not happy with my going off screen and being blurry. And I do apologize. It's hard to do everything perfect when you're doing one of these videos. It really takes practice, and I'm still in the learning stages. So I appreciate you bearing with me, and I really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe because it helps me a lot to be able to continue. You know, I'm not making a dime off of this, and I'm hoping after I get to a certain number of subscribers and watch hours that I'll be able to make a little bit of income through YouTube, and you will still be getting content for free. Okay, what's for the last one is the red one. And I'm going to go up here. Hopefully you're not like going, oh my God, when is this going to end? I hope that you're still here and you're still okay with that. So this one is probably going to stick up because this is the most narrow part of the leaf here. And unfortunately, your beads tend to stick up here. So I'm trying to figure out, I think I'm going to do it that way. It'll be the easiest. And now see, you can see the hole there, and that's what we don't want. So we're going to, yeah, there we go. Okay, that should make it better. For the next video, I will try to do something a little bit better and maybe slightly more advanced, because I know I've been just doing beginner stuff. And I know I've only had like 7 videos so far, so I'm not trying to jump into anything crazy until I can actually stay on camera. Okay, so that's nice and snug. I just barely had enough wire to finish this thing. I'm not giving up, guys. I'm going to push this wire through. It's going through one way or another. I will not give up. Famous last words. Aha! Ha ha! Ha ha ha! I am victorious. I think. There it is. Yes! Yes! My gratitude to tweezers. Tweezers are the unsung heroes of the jewelry making world. Now, this is not going to tuck back there, but I can just snip it off right there. And then we shall call it done. And if you snip it closely enough, it should not stick out and be a problem for anybody. Just make sure it's pressed down. Okay, we are almost finished. That's the wrong jump ring. What did I do with my other one? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I'm not going to make that mistake again. Okay, and there is a little skinny thing. Of course, it's not going to be wide enough. It won't be wide enough to put it on, but it will be wide enough for it to fall off. That is Murphy's Law there. Okay, and gently press them together. Get them as close as you can get them. And not falling off. We're in good shape. As So we're done here, guys, and I thank you so much for watching. And again, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, and leave me comments about what you're doing for the holidays, because I always like to hear what other people are up to. So, whoops. Oh, that was the other one. I don't know which one was the first one. Okay, so let's just say these are the two I just made, which I think they are. Okay, and there we go. Happy holidays, guys. Thanks again. Take care.